So wait.
We're very excited that we are inviting Abigail to speak about her work. She is the first analog film that we've ever had at Alchemy, which was really exciting. Really exciting to us for that reason. And we have been so grateful and stoked that she spent some time here, and we are all so excited to see your work a little bit and something to share. And for all of you, if you haven't been to our Artist Talk series, all of our artists and residents participate in it, share the work that they make or have made in their life. This is still part of the first cohort of artists and residents. So there will be 2 more cohorts of artists and residents.
I'll be on YouTube.
It'll be on YouTube.
YouTube.
A few things tonight, sort of related to what I've been doing in Alchemy past work that I got to make here. So we're watching right now some Super 8, which is one of I got to teach when I was here. It's very fun. And then the other thing you'll see is phytograms, which is a neat process of using plants to develop films. So you did plants in a chemical solution, you can lay it on any sort of light sensitive material, like film or photo paper, and then to sort of see these details in prep of the film. So now you can see, I tried another experiment. I need to bring it to display these, but I'm going to pass them around. Of some prints I made with the phytogram negatives that I made. So there's a lot of experimenting when I was here, which is really fun. And it sort of connects me to a larger body of work that I've been doing for the last, for the last few years, we focused on sort of alternative landscape depiction. So when I think about like the traditional art history practice, landscape photography and filmmaking gets very connected to things like land survey, colonization, and its sort of great purpose was to show how empty spaces were and how sort of open they were to opportunity. So I was trying to imagine ways to engage with landscape visualization that shows how full they are, what is already there, and how we have and do interact with landscape every day. So the phytograms fit into that. For one, it's kind of the opposite of the wide landscape. It's looking at the absolute littlest details of a plant. But it also is this interesting collaboration between like myself and the plant. You know, which one that I chose to put on and why. I feel like it's sort of the entire process. So it's really about my manipulation of plant material. And also the way these kind of organic shapes can start to look like other things. So I'll pass these around as you can see. But I would say like this is a leaf. And to me, it kind of looks like a fish. Or maple leaves, they start to look like bird feathers when you stare at them really close. And ferns kind of look like bird, right, or spine. So, yeah. So those are printed in the Alchemy dark room. The phytograms are made here as well. Phytograms work best in the springtime, so plants are new. So this is a great time to be here. There's a lot of little plant life to choose from. That's like lichen, sort of a hair.
So is the light blinking because you expose this?
that is an overlay picture of film just to add a little
Uh-huh.
movement to this. But I didn't want it to go too much like that section. But I didn't want to like move that from the.
Right. It has a nice effect.
It is nice.
Yeah, that's from when you hand process them, the way I do it, which is you see a bunch of film and you shove it in a bucket and scratch it a lot and you develop it. You get this basic texture on the film. Nice. Yes, and here's, you'll probably see my fingerprints on some of these.
I love it.
And I mean, the color is like completely unpredictable, really, because it's color film, but it's light sensitive, so it doesn't have any way to know what color the plants are, but I move on. So it's just like the quality of the light that determines the color. And these are done at different times of the day, for different lengths of time, and they're all purple in varying degrees. And I don't know why exactly, something about the light and alchemy, I guess.
Have any of them ever, have you done phytograms before and they've come out in colors?
Like pink or bright blue or turquoise.
Huh, wow.
All different colors. It depends on the film stock. You use depends on the light, depends on the time of year, angle of the light, and sort of potency of the plants.
Wow.
Yeah, and then this I think that it shows you the right title. And so this is a series of Super 8 footage that I shot out of Argos. So you get motion sick. And it's shot in the North Cascades, kind of not actively in wildfire, right? It's sort of close fire, so it's very easy. So this is a way of looking at landscape that also was thinking about human interactions. I mean, the big overarching obvious going to be wildfires that become more and more frequent as our presence in spaces. But also the fact that it's out a car window, so you're seeing kind of what I see in that window. It jitters and it moves in an interesting way, so it's not this like stoic, sweeping landscapes. And you know, it's not just landscapes. Kind of eerily empty developments. There's a lot of different houses. And summers, people left. Yeah, and this one, my intention is that I haven't quite figured out that structure of it yet, which was something I did work on here. I did not solve. Yeah, so this is, I mean, I gave my sort of landscape phase of art, just trying to realize this what that may look like. My last show, I did probably, I think I'm gonna black it to it's all shot on the peninsula, and that was definitely more like classic picturesque landscape, and I used sound to bring in sort of other elements.
Does Super 8 have sound?
You can not sync sound. I work completely digitally after I shoot in a lot and then I get it scanned, so I edit it digitally and I go with sound. Digitally for now, mostly just the cost and access to the equipment. So no, there's really never synchronous sound. It's all. I'll let this move out.
Can you explain what Super 8 is?
Yeah,
And somebody who does not.
yeah, so the numbers you hear in film, like 35, 68, that they just refer to the width of the film in millimeters. And so originally there was 8mm film, which was like a roll of 16, but it was cut down the middle and you shoot it and split it in half. And you got teeny tiny film. And then in like the late 60s, somebody wanted to make that easier to use. So they made Super 8, it's slightly wider strip, and it goes in a cartridge, so you don't have to line it. So you can never like do some older analog cameras just pop it in. It's kind of good to go. A lot of those cameras were like fully automatic. You didn't control your scope or anything. Some of them were manual, but it was like really the consumer camera of like the 60s. So that's what, you know, old common movies that kind of have that 70s look.
Can you walk us through like how you approach what you film, why you film it, and yeah, kind of what you're thinking about when you make those decisions?
I say, I always wish that I approached it thematically first, and I think I need to consider doing that. But what I'm actually doing is just, if I think something looks cool, I'm going to want to be able to film it. And then I'll sort of ruminate on why I wanted to film it and sort of find that story. And usually, sound design is the way that I would like solidify and structure everything, and I keep the visuals a little bit more unstructured, I guess you could say. So like with this one, for example, a lot of it was just, I think that I thought that the haziness of the landscape would look really interesting. So that was like really my main motivating factor. And I definitely had ideas in my mind about what this would say about the human relationship to landscape. But obviously I didn't quite know what I wanted to say yet, because I still haven't said it. Yeah, I usually think that the visual thing catches my eye. And a visual thing that I think would lend itself well to analog filming. So that is sort of my main node. I think that I like the unpredictability, like you know what I'm capturing when I'm doing it. I like kind of pushing a little bit of that.
I have a related question about like just working in film. It's so much more complicated and challenging and expensive, and so it has to be a strong decision to continue working in analog film. Can you speak a little bit about why that feels really important to your creative process?
Yes, definitely. I think, well, for one, I learned shooting film. When I first shot film, I was in grad school and I had lots of access to free film and cheap film processing and scanning. So part of it is I got hooked before I actually had a concept of how much it would cost me, but also I think it taught me, I don't know, sort of intention and economy in shooting. Like I feel like I can make a film out of 2 or 3 rolls of film, which is only 6-8 minutes in total. But if I were to make it digitally, I would just constantly shoot hours and hours, and I wouldn't. I think I would never finish a project if it was completely digital.
That makes sense.
So you like the limitations? Yes. Yes. You mentioned like you were working on solving a problem with what the thematic narrative structure of the concrete one was. Like where can you, I'm so curious about that. But you like You feel like you made some progress, but like,
I think I made, yeah, I do think I made like thematic process, and I haven't figured out how to like to incorporate it into the film, if that makes sense. Like, I think what I wanted to do is explore kind of disconnect in communication. Because I think that like in the broader level, it's a disconnect between like how we understand nature, or but also I think it's about, for me, about being home and not feeling like it's quite my home anymore. So it's that sort of personal level of like disconnect. So that is like the theme. Now I'm like, do I do it audio? I mean, I like to work with text, which you'll see in this one. And how obvious to make it. I think I err on the side of maybe not obvious enough sometimes. See if the sound works. This was my master's thesis. And this was shot on 16 millimeter film. And this one is sort of about mythology and transformation. So how human beings can be like transformed into kind of metaphors or stories through the story of a woman whose body was saponified. So her body had a total transformation as well as her sort of humanity. What does saponify? She turned to soap, basically.
she was murdered and dumped in a very cold place.
And there's something about the chemical reaction that preserved her body, but she basically turned bony. Which is so fascinating, but then when I talk about it, it's like, wait, she was an actual person. So that was basically what the film was about. So we can watch, I don't have to watch all. Maybe look. I hope so. I know balloons behind her. Butter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Voted on the surface are so. I looked at the shore and I wanted to touch it. It would crumble in my hands. through I was 24. I don't remember. I looked at the red bars on the wrist. And didn't read.
That's the lake. Doggo floated on the rest of her sea. The goal to match the band around her finger. So, torches.
We found the intention of that sound design was to evoke the ways that stories are told and transform. So there's fire, there's car traffic, there's physical copy, and then you can hear me. I recorded audio as I made the film, so you can hear me running.
So you did record it in real time, you just had it on a different tool. Was that the lake she was on? How long ago did that happen?
That her body supplantified and floated to the surface 4 years later.
Wow.
They identified her. Was it 2, right?
Yeah, it's a couple things.
Whoa.
What clothing you can preserve and see and recognize. So her husband was eventually.
Wow. Crazy.
Was that in the North Cascades? Okay.
Yeah, Lake Crescent, some of the footage was sneaky of the North Kensington. It premiered in Boston, no, we had.
And I forgot it, I did a sound to. This is my, like. Bug sounds. This is fun. We were worms in a red soil.
I wondered
Yeah.
that.
Right. It was, I was on a friend's set rolling sound and there were worms involved, but they kept them in a cup. So whenever it was on a break. No, I envision this as like, I shot a lot of film on the island this year that I have not gotten back yet, but at the moment I'm envisioning that and these spider-man stay filmed together. Not a lot of you feel like your relationship with the landscape has changed over the last few years? Well, I think it's interesting because this sort of series of projects that we started when I moved from the Pacific Northwest to the East Coast. But all the landscape projects have been in the Pacific Northwest worked out. So I do think like a fixation with where I am from, but in a completely different way than I am. But it's
Where did you shoot film on the island? Was it mostly close-ups with bugs, or what did you do?
I did a lot of double exposure actually. So I was trying to do sort of those big landscapes like ocean scapes or like the meadows at South Beach as one exposure, and then exposing on top of that bugs or just really close species of plants.
Cool, so you really don't know what it's gonna look like.
No.
Were you using 16mm or Super 8?
Motion 16, I did shoot a little Super 8, but most of the Super 8 is around out.
Nice.
And then your class like the gold strip.
Is it pretty limited to places you can get it exposed now?
Sorry.
Is it pretty limited, like where you can get film exposed now? It's just like LA, New York or something?
There's one in New York. There's one in like a Boston suburb, one in the suburb. That's the only process.
Wow.
You can get things scanned, but that's more like kind of home movie digitizing type scanning, so it's not also like high quality stuff that you. But yeah, limited options.
Develop it yourself?
When I can, I like to develop it myself. There's, it's always like hundreds of feet at a time with moving pictures, so I like to do on a really like little experimental thing. I like to do it myself. But if it's something that I spent a lot of time and money to make, I usually send it to because I don't want my mistake to be and also color is a lot harder to do yourself. So you should black, but I'll do black.
Colors that came through in the not the film, but
That was on, Ectochrome, which is, in still photography, it's slide film. So it just gets those like amazing colors, like blues and greens especially.
Yeah, that was really.
Like really like simultaneously captured how we're looking at precedents and all of the drop. But then it also looked like very like non-reality, like yeah, it is incredibly, you know, yeah, it's interesting that like this aesthetic we in this time period like associates so hard like just all of the memories with that.
What I also like shooting about film or shooting film is that it is like it does degrade. You know what I mean? You scans until the cloud collapses or whatever. It's apocalypse. This is like gonna be preserved as it is. But the actual film I shot is in my closet and it will not stay the same. It's already changing in time. And eventually if I were to pull it out and project it, the colors would have shifted. So I like that. I don't really, I color correct to the point of like saying contrast and exposure, but I don't think change too much from what the film captured.
So it's your landscape. I'm curious. Your landscape you're on. I think that it's like our question, comment is the landscape mixed with the vintage kind of feeling is like very poor. The lack of people around is like, wow, it's super eerie. And then my question is, have you ever filmed people? Have you ever liked doing that?
I do like it. I've never done it really for a personal project, so I've done it for other people. I shot stuff for them, and I do really like it. I think I don't want to abandon the landscapes, but I think the other thing I want to try is like a contrast is just more stage stuff. I kind of want to work with like building miniatures and stuff, like building tiny sets and things to work with. But I never really worked with like actors. I filmed like documentary people, and I filmed music videos and stuff. But I never had an actor do something. It makes me nervous, but I think it would be fun. But directing is a whole skill, directing people.
I have to say during the film, we watched when you were slowly zooming into that tunnel cave thing. I actually got goosebumps. I was a little scared. I was thinking like what to jump out. I was like very but it didn't happen.
This is scary.
This makes it so movie. The complete background is very good ambiance on that.
Were the words added to the digital film or were those?
Yeah, the words were shot on film off my monitor, and then hand processed that are all linky scratchy, and then I layered them. So it's the text is the text and the voiceover that's then like cut up. You know, certain words.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, I'm always curious what took you from like an elementary school student to like getting your master's.
Yeah. It's sort of convoluted, I guess. So I was a classical musician my whole life, like that. Music was my thing.
Say what?
I played viola and was a classical singer. And I wanted to do that. But then when I got to college, I felt that like felt too limited by the music program. So I switched to anthropology so that I could do like an ethnomusicology, so I could learn about kinds of music. I switched to an anthropology degree and then I took visual classes. That interested that way. When I finished college, I interned as a custodian and started to do that. I really liked it, but I felt behind everybody because I didn't have formal education. I didn't know how to use a lot of tools. So I decided to go to grad school, and then I didn't learn any of the tools and the science to do this. I still think I'm not like a gear person or like I know where that's it. But I would say that's not. It's been the phone. That's probably why sound design is such a big and what I do mixing sound. That last film mixed in surround sound, but nobody heard.
What kinds of spaces have you shown your films in?
Yeah, mostly. It's funny that one when I showed was my master's thesis, and I showed it at school like almost exactly a year ago. I graduated.
Wow.
My thumb was telling smart. So those were two spaces, and then I've shown it at small experimental film festivals. There was a gallery that showed that film that it's a 3 channels, which it's so film. But mostly it's like real experimental. And either times.
What do you think you're gonna work on?
I think, well, when I get my film back from here,
Yeah.
I'm here, probably that's gonna be one big project, and then I think that's gonna be an end project, computer. Every time, but I think on our actual computer, I'm gonna start thinking about like how to design some sort of set where we're space where more
I'm obsessed with diagrams. I like the idea of them being like interspersed in something.
yeah. Well, because they're usually such like high contrast that they're really interesting on top of other things too.
Yeah, they're really great. They're I feel like to see all of the different tone values and I just think about like soft and hard graphite or like graphite or charcoal drawings. Yeah, and the shapes that you get that are so they're like a Rorschach.
Yeah.
So cool. Papers. Like that looks like a sea creature. That looks like a person's clothes. That looks like a butt. That's your Rorschach. Yeah. They all like butts. Almost like an alien.
There's so much inspiration and it's like everyone in this room with a different art practice could take that one of those and like turn it into something through their minds, and it would be like a totally fresh thing.
Yeah, definitely. And what's fun about printing them is, there are traditional frame lines, so there's no shutter. So instead of having like 5 frames, I can ship it sort of in increments. So there can be like 100 different ways to frame all the different parts.
Yeah.
Can you explain phytograms one more time?
Yes. So A traditional film developer is high in this compound, phenol, which is, an electron-rich atom, so that's part of what makes it develop film. And plants are high in phenols as well, so if you mix vitamin C and soda ash in the right ratio, dip plants in it, the plant becomes a very mild film developer, so when you lay it on the sun, it will expose, and then it will sort of develop the film that the plants are making.
Cool.
And then you just fix it.
Wow, interesting.
That's why the areas that the sun touches are darker and the areas that the plants are in are lighter. It's like doing the same thing with a scientific forest green sense of assuming, but it's not for the same reason. It's not just, yes, there's a stop that.
Right, it's like a lumen print, but yeah, it also has that additional
Yeah, the contact points are the parts that turn really dark. Instead of, it's like the opposite exposure as the cyanotype.
Yeah, and these scans, I think, are inverted.
Oh,
Oh. Right, so on the negative.
Oh, crazy.
Isn't that right? It's kind of like a 3D capture, as in like, there's the exposure of the plant touching the film, and then there's also the plant not touching the film, but blocking the sun.
That's why it has that value thing.
Cool.
It's very fun. It's fun on paper or on film. I love materials here.
Thank you. I was really excited to look at your work.
I have lots. I made a lot of things.
Yeah. That's great.